Hello everybody, my name is Steve Hilliard and I am going to go over several things about myself. First, I will tell you about me personally as well as my family. Then I will provide you with my educational background. I will then explain my employment currently, and I will tell you some other unique information. I am 27 years old and I come from a Catholic family with three brothers. Their names are Michael, Andrew, and Brian. I am number two of four boys. Brian, who is the oldest, had recently moved to Las Vegas in 2012. At that point, Melissa, my girlfriend, and I decided we were going to help them move over to Las Vegas, so we ended up helping them with a U-Haul truck. It's a relatively small cab, and it took us about 4 days driving about 10 to 12 hours per day. However, I am 6'3", so being cramped up into a pretty small truck for about 4 days got a little challenging at certain times because you can't get out of the truck, can't get out, walk around or anything. Just kind of you wait for your next stop. Currently, I am living with my girlfriend, who I've been with for about 3 years, in Downriver, Michigan. We also have a dog who is the best dog in the world, and his name is Cedric. He is a white German Shepherd who is actually used for breeding and entered into several competitions for weight pulling and like the competitions for class dogs. He initially I was not looking for a show-off dog. I was actually looking for just a dog that was nice, healthy, and wouldn't bite anybody. And at the beginning, when we first got him, he was pretty aloof, but eventually he had warmed up over the past several months. My educational background, I actually graduated from high school with a 2.7 GPA and realized that I had to go to college. I had initially taken my first semester with the same attitude that I used in high school, so I was forced to drop out of all those classes in my first semester. And realizing that going to college was going to cost me money and that I needed an education, it forced me to take education a little bit more serious. After that $2,000 mistake, I realized that I needed to apply myself, and finally I ended up on like the dean's list. And not that that's a huge accomplishment, but you know, it was an improvement from where I was. And I got an associate's degree as a registered nurse at Henry Ford Community College. Afterwards, I decided that I have to take the state boards in order to even make my education have any meaning. So that was probably one of the most stressful times in my life. And after I had done that, I gave myself about a year to fulfill the job requirements at the emergency department, which meant taking several classes such as like TNCC, EDPC, and several other trauma-related courses. After I had completed that, I decided I was going to go back to school for my bachelor's degree, and I was enrolled in that at University of Detroit Mercy starting in the year of 2013. This is actually my last semester for my degree, and I'm not really sure what kind of graduate studies I'm going to be doing, but I know that I'll be going forward in the future. My employment, as we talked about earlier, I am a registered nurse in an emergency department in Detroit. I have worked there for almost 3 years. I've been a nurse for 4 years, and I've worked in the healthcare field since I was 18. I had begun my initial part of my career as a CNA in a nursing home, and I worked there for about 5 years while I was going to school. Additional information that was unique to myself, as we had mentioned earlier, is that the first thing is that I find speeches such as these and talking about yourself kind of challenging. I'd rather use like an informative or educational one as a platform to teach somebody, and also things that I'm knowledgeable about. Secondly is that I have a 2011 Harley-Davidson Street Glide. That is my pride and joy, and I've rode a Harley since I was 19 years old. My first Harley that I bought was a 2005 Street. It was a Harley-Davidson Road King Custom, and it had the ape hangers, 16-inch on those, which are the big handlebars that you hold up here. Another interesting thing about myself that's kind of new over the past couple of weeks is that I decided to adopt a new hobby, and that is starting to airbrush this winter instead of playing video games. I decided to be a little bit more productive with my time off and become a little bit better at something than video games. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Now you know a little bit more about my personal history and myself, and I will be taking some time to watch your videos.